Tensai Shitara Slime Datta Ken Chapter 2. As of now, it has been 90 days since I was reincarnated as a slime. How can I so accurately affirm the time to this extent? That is due to the correction effect of the unique skill Great Sage. I have to say, this skill is seriously convenient. Whenever I'm troubled, I call the Great Sage. And it teaches me everything. According to the Great Sage, it's taken exactly 90 days for the skill to become established. By established, apparently it means getting attached to this world. The explanation I was given was that in the initial state it was in, upon arriving in this world, it couldn't reply to me at all, so it had to access and hijack the voice of the world. I didn't get any of it though. I was told that normally, there isn't supposed to be a convenient skill that answers questions by speaking into my mind. In order to reply to my questions, Great Sage seems to be making use of that voice. I find the way of this world to be peculiar, but apparently it's just an ordinary thing here. Although, that's not to say that acquiring skills or evolution are common occurrences. Skills are a rarity, because they can only be acquired when the world acknowledges a certain growth in an individual. On the other hand, evolution is supposedly something completely out of reach for the average layman. Well, even though I only vaguely understood all this, I had no other choice than to come to terms with it. Although Great Sage has become able to reply to my questions, in the end it remains passive and doesn't possess a will of its own. Even so, I'm quite happy, since now even a one-way conversation is possible. Even if conversing with my own skill, in my previous world, would be considered wildly delusional. And so that's how it is. Having nothing to do in the darkness, I continued asking questions. I also found out the reason why I didn't need food nor sleep. If a slime in this world manages to absorb magic essence, it will no longer require food. In areas where magic essence is low in concentration, monsters or small animals must be absorbed to replenish your essence. What this means is that in my current location, the concentration of magic essence is dense to the point where I don't require food. Regarding my lack of need for sleep. Or so that's how it is. I wonder where my memories are stored. RAID equals using multiple hard drives to handle data. Great Sage is surprisingly good at backchanneling, And, as for the Great Sage skill effects I was interested in. Thought acceleration. Raises the speed of perception by 1000 times more than usual. Analytic identification. Analysis as well as identification of the target. Parallel calculation. Capable of a separate automatic analysis of a target, detached from main thought processes. Chant canceling. When casting magic, incantations are not needed. Omnipotence. Anything that is not concealed within this world can be comprehended. Those were the explanations of the 5 main abilities greater than. Or something like that. Omnipotence, you say. Did I effortlessly obtain all the knowledge in the world? Is what I thought, but. In other words, this ability requires that I personally experience something before it is possible to analyze it. But rather than that, there really is magic. The answer was, yes. Now that I knew, I couldn't help becoming impatient in wanting to learn magic. But a flash of inspiration hit me then. Is it possible to link together the abilities analysis from Predator and parallel calculation from Great Sage? Naturally, it's a yes. The stockpile of grass in my stomach, which I had gathered up during that period of wasting away. I wonder what those are. Well, it's not like there's anything better to do, so I might as well analyze that. And so I immediately tried it out. Hypocoot grass. Raw material for salves and potions. Only grows in places rich in magic essence. Infusing its sap with magic essence will create restorative medicine. Grinding the leaves and infusing the powder with magic essence will create a salve that can seal wounds. Greater than. Goodness. This must be what they call having an unexpected windfall. The analysis didn't take more than a second, and the actual creation was completed in 3 seconds. I can make 100 of them in 5 minutes. The result was quite satisfying. Frankly, be it creating or analyzing, the speed was just positively staggering. I made the right decision in linking parallel calculation. The difference in speed was astounding. It looks like I have good compatibility with this skill of mine. Not that I was aware of it. Although there seemed to be some weeds mixed in, most of what was growing in this place was hypocoot grass. At the same time, I diligently continued to create restorative medicines inside my stomach. After all is said and done though, in the end I'm still blind in the dark. Grass harvesting was pretty much the only thing I could do. During this time, I had forgotten all about being cautious. Another factor was that in the past 90 days, I hadn't felt any danger to my life, because I never found even a hint of other living creatures. At any rate, I was caught off guard. Plop. Author's note. MC can't hear what happened. Please enjoy while keeping an objective image in your mind. Maybe you were thinking different but not anymore. Was all I could think in that moment. Could it be, I fell into water? During the past 90 days, I never felt a single drop of water hit me from above. That is to say, I was carelessly mistaken, thinking this place was either a cave where rain did not reach, or that the water would be much deeper in. It seems I've slipped into a river or the like. It's unlikely for a river to be indoors, so could this possibly be an underground lake inside the cave? Up to this point, in this darkness where I can't see my surroundings, I had always moved while cautiously taking one step at a time. Despite this, I let the usefulness of my skills get to my head, and this is the result of recklessly going around eating grass. I was negligent in checking my footing, easily acting on the spur of the moment and failing. This makes me remember the resentful eyes of my juniors back then. In the first place, what kind of idiot goes running around in the pitch dark, is how I'd like to berate myself. If I survive this, I'm lecturing myself. Nevertheless, though I always regret things, I'll never reflect on them. Probably. How should I put it? I'm rather composed right now. It's the end for me. In the face of impending suffocation, I braced my heart. Comma. Comma comma. Comma comma comma. The suffocating didn't come. When it's like this, it's time to call on great sage. I promptly asked my question. Now that it's mentioned, I never realized it, but I haven't been breathing at all. Be that as it may, it seems certain that I've been submerged in water. How troubling. Really. As of now, I have no idea whether I'm floating or still sinking. If I've sunk to the bottom, will I be able to crawl back out onto ground? Rather than drifting away, I feel as if I'm inside of a cradle. It was as if I was gently swaying in an embrace, feeling so very comfortable. This doesn't feel like the current of water. Rather than a river, it's closer to a lake. There's no sensation of being carried away. It's possible that I'll be staying like this forever. Really, how troubling. But at that moment, brain cells equals body of slime, implying huge brain, I think. By swallowing a large amount of water, isn't it possible to propel myself outside by discharging water forcefully like a water jet? However, I could never have known that this idea of mine would be the main cause of a fateful encounter. Nevertheless, I moved towards that one direction as if destiny was showing me the way. First of all, I swallowed enough water to fill 10% of my stomach, using Predator. Author's note. MC is not aware of this, but the water level has noticeably dropped. The sense of liberation was exhilarating. Suddenly a voice rang in my mind. There was no need for great sage to speak, so it most likely is, but both of them really give off the same feeling. However, right now I don't have the tiniest bit of mind to spare in verifying such things. Whiz. I felt my body accelerate, shooting myself out with the force of flying through the air, forward. In this case, the direction I wanted to move towards. In my blindness, I could only feel the frightful movement speed of my hurtling body assailing me. I take it back. If you've experienced riding a jet coaster at the amusement park while blind, you might be able to empathize a little. In my previous life, I've experienced it just once, in the paradise that is ruled by a certain mouse figure. Not to mention, in this current situation my safety is hardly guaranteed. Immediately executing a plan without testing. Fool. Confirming safety is the basics, isn't it? How long will this accelerating sensation continue? Seriously, what kind of power did I put into that water jet? And as I thought that, bam, bounce, roll, crash, I'm sorry. And then the violent pain didn't come. I don't seem to have taken damage. Is it possible that I've been injured, yet only the pain is missing? Although there's no pain, there is actual damage. Well, it makes sense. I don't know if it's good or not, but even if there's no pain, as long as I can detect abnormalities, then it might be better off this way. Let's see. Assistance from Predator. I don't really get it, but for the time being, yes. In that moment, it felt as if a portion of my body completely diminished. And then a short time later, the original volume of my body gradually returned. How convenient this body is. Next time, I'll experiment to see much body volume can be reduced before action becomes impossible. It seems that no matter how much percentage of my body is decreased, my vitality won't be affected. Although I say that, I have a hunch that it'll be quite dangerous, so I'll make sure to tread lightly. Although this time, I had a large quantity restorative medicine on me, there wasn't a need to use them at all. In any case, though 10% of damage to my body could be called a serious injury, I've confirmed that it only took about 10 minutes to fully recover. The next time I happen to take some damage, which I hope won't happen, I'll try using the restorative medicines. So, I wonder what kind of place this is. After confirming my body condition returning to normal, I checked my surroundings. Even if I've escaped from the water, it wouldn't be a surprise if a monster that can't cross water dwelled in this place. I began moving very carefully. And as if reading my mind. Can you hear me? Little one. I heard something. Status. Species. Slime. Titles. None. Magic. None. Skills. Unique skill Great Sage. Slime inherent skills Dissolution, Absorption, Self-regeneration. Skill Hydraulic propulsion. Resistances. Heat fluctuation resistance X. Pain immunity. Paralysis resistance. Chapter end.